And good evening, everybody. This is Michael Filighera. I am with logicalsignals.com and tradershelpingtraders.com. And this is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 for Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. Excuse me. The market did continue lower after reaching a high in Globex this morning. And the count has become a little bit dubious. And let me tell you why. I'm fairly satisfied that this was either a first wave or an A wave, and that this was either a 2 wave or B wave. Now, if I leave the count as 1 and 2, then intermediate wave 3 would consist of 5 waves of minor degree. And I'm labeling them as these as minor degree. They can't be and fit within this count. They're just not big enough. When we look at the length of wave 1, and now I cannot possibly be counting out a third wave that won't even take out the low of wave 1. It just does not exist. So these, in my view, cannot be 1 and 2 with the development of this wave. If they are, then these are minute degree. And what we're coming up on is a minor wave 1 low. So we're still doing 5 down, but it's minor wave 1. And as I break this down and pull it open so that I can see it more cleanly inside these moves, this is pretty sloppy. This is very clean, but it leaves me feeling this is 1, 2, 3. And then, we're getting a 4, and now we're doing 5. Now, that's the case, even on a minute level. If that's the case, this is basically would be counted as 1, 2, 1, 2. And that suggests that the S&P 500 is about ready to drop off a cliff. And because it would be 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1 of 5, 2 of 5, and then 1 of 3 of 5. So it's subdivided. And that would start to suggest that it's going to start falling in a third. And it's going to have to really pick up the speed, because it's basically telling me that it's going to be big. Now, yes, I really would expect, no matter what, a new low below 43.34. But I need to take this up and tell you that on the hourly, I needed to break that. 42.93. So could it? Absolutely. We could drop off the cliff and put in another $75 or $80 day in the S&P, and then it would bring it down below that. But I'm still not going to be satisfied that this is minor degree 5 waves down for an intermediate third wave. I just cannot buy that. Third waves on at least an intermediate degree are the longest and the strongest. And this being wave 1, wave 3, even coming down to these lower levels, still, it has to fit more cleanly. So again, taking this back up, what it possibly can be, if we're dealing with an A and a B wave, as we are in the NASDAQ, as an alternate view, then the possibility that the A is going to be much longer, and we would just be looking for a C wave to be equal in length to wave A. And if that's the case, we're still approaching to fall off a cliff, but that cliff should find some pretty, the ground isn't all that far down below. Now, if we come down to this level, 42.1575, then it's going to equal what we're labeling as wave 1. Now, we still can leave it as labeled as a wave 2, but indeed, I'd be looking for it to come down to 4,057 as a minimum. For a third wave, yes. For a C wave, I could put that as A and then a C wave. Yeah, that's much more acceptable. But then that changes how we view this on a little bit bigger scale. Because indeed, if they're going to say that this is intermediate A and intermediate B, and now we're putting in an intermediate level C wave, yes, as long as I can do the count correctly, we're still in that position where it's going to drop, feel like it's going to drop off a cliff, because we're staring in the face of a possible 50 to 60 point drop. Now, definitely at least 40 from current levels. Close to 56. It is being indicated that it's going to open a little bit higher. So we're looking for 59, we're looking for a 50, 45 point drop. That's just to this level. And then I would definitely could label as 5. Now, whether it's going to be the 3 or whether it's going to be a C, I have to leave that open right now. And I'm going to focus on this. Again, if it's a wave 2, that's 2, and we're looking at intermediate 3, then these are likely minute waves. And if a minute wave 1 comes down to here, then I'm looking for a minute 2 and a much bigger drag lower. ABC puts a different spin on it, like I said. So we could be coming into the conclusion of that. And then I could possibly label it as intermediate A, intermediate B, intermediate C to complete primary A. Then we get a little bit larger bounce, and then we get another devastating C wave. So both pictures carry enough validity. Now I need to just really deal with, what am I going to look for tomorrow? No matter what, it really appears to me that the only way they're going to be able to count these last couple of days of trading, particularly today, to be honest with you, is that if I have to complete a wave here and this puts in the rebound rally, or the small wave 4 in this case, then this is 1, 2, 1, 2. And it's really going to drop. So yes, it is possible that maybe tomorrow we will see a resumption of just everybody's moving down and for the same reason. So today the moves were disjointed because the Dow continued, because of Boeing, it was going to rally, it was going to rally. And so as baskets came in against the broader market or against the S&P, it dragged up the NASDAQ, it dragged up the tech stocks, which are basically wanting to continue to move lower. So there was that battle all day long, and that's this. But now, how do we want to interpret that to how we're going to, what could possibly happen tomorrow? Well, what would have to happen tomorrow is that all the markets would have to return to be in sync. We're all selling or we're all buying. Then we're going to get what's the break's going to be. If it breaks up, yeah, we got tons of room, at least up to the 30-minute 200 and the hourly. And then we've got, resistance levels that we can plot the move. On the way down, we still have those support levels, but it has to break one way or the other. And that's basically also what I'm adding here. If I have to say 1, 2, 1, 2, it breaks lower. If this is an ABC, something different, it could break higher. But both sides, either it's going to break above 43.73 or it's going to break below 43.43. And that's how I have to leave it today. If it breaks below, then we're heading towards this support, this support, this support, and ultimately should end down here. A break higher, I could be very limited. We have the 200-day, and it could be a C wave up. So in other words, this could be A, B. I don't know how to work the count out because it's just kind of getting really ugly. But what I'm saying is that we're going to break here or we're going to break here. If we break higher, we've got resistance there, we've got resistance here. And then price resistance again up here at 44.42. That's where I'm going to leave it. Next update tomorrow.